All right, so we're going to factorize this question that's been given to us on the screen over here. Now, I want us to remember that this is a trinomial, so we are going to have to open two brackets. Okay. And I know that my factors of 2 over here, hello Mandisa, my factors of 2 are going to be just 1 and 2, and then I'm going to distribute, I'm going to put an x here and an x there so that we can factorize properly. Right, and then my factors of 3 are going to be 1 and 3. And then remember, guys, we're going to cross multiply. We're going to multiply across. I don't like how this arrow is looking in the wrong direction. Sorry, guys, my OCD just kicked in for 2 seconds. Okay, I wanted to face in the right direction. There we go. That's the way that we're multiplying in. Okay, that's the order we're multiplying in. All right, so if I multiply this way, I'm going to get 1x times 3 will give me 3x. Okay. Yes, Mandisa, absolutely. And then 2x times 3 is going to give me 2x, which seems to work because 2x plus 3x will indeed give me 5x. And that's what I want in the middle. I want plus 5x. But the problem I'm going to have here is that one of my brackets needs to be positive. And if we look at how we solved these last week, Wednesday, we know that to get a positive times a something must give me a negative. A positive times a what, guys? Positive times what equals negative? Can you tell me in the chat? Ooh, a positive times a positive is not going to give me a negative. A positive times?
A positive.
Ooh, but remember, positive times positive is just going to give me a positive.
Yeah. Yes.
So what do we need?
Negative.
Correct. We need a negative. So we need another negative here. So that means my must be positive and my one sign must be negative. And that's where the problem is going to come in. If I make this part negative, I'm going to get negative 2 plus 3, which is going to give me 1x. And if I swap it around, if I make it positive 2 minus 3, minus 3x, that's going to give me negative x. So this doesn't work. This combination doesn't work. So maybe we're going to take these two and we're going to swap them around. I'm going to put the 3 over here and I'm going to put the 1 over there. Okay. So if I do that here, I'm going to get 1x times 1. That's just going to give us 1x or just x. And then 2x times 3 is going to give us 6x. Good. And now I want 5x. Okay, which one of these needs to be negative? The 6x or the negative x? I want 5. Correct, that's a Thandalwethu. The x needs to be negative. So I'm going to make this negative. But the only way that's going to be negative is if my minus 1 over here is negative as well, because 1x times negative 1 will give us negative x, right? And this is exactly how I'm going to put them into my brackets. I'm going to have x plus 3, and I'm going to have 2x minus 1. All right, so x plus 3 is positive, and 2x minus 1 is positive. All right, and that's the answer that we're looking for in this particular question. Now, I just want us to quickly run through whether you guys just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you know how to factorize on your calculator. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down if no, ma'am, they've never taught you how to factorize using your calculator. Okay, Amanda says no. Okay, Seho also says no. Thandalwethu says no. Mandisa also says no. Okay, all right. So the trick here is that you need to have a particular calculator. These new ones are quite nice. I wonder if any of you, if you guys have this new calculator. It's called Casio FX991. I'm going to write it on the screen. This one, Casio FX9910, and some of them even have like a 22 at the end, right? It's that white one. You know that new white square Casio? Do you guys have that one? You can just put a yes or a no in the chat for me. Okay. Okay, Tsego says no. Tsego, if you don't have that one, can you tell me which one you've got? Amanda says yes. Okay, Tanduluti says no. Okay, Langelihle also says no. That's fine. All right, if you can, oh, you've got the sharp. All right, the sharp might also work actually. Okay, Desiree, what color is yours? What color is it? Okay, whatever calculator you've got, please tell me which one, what color it is. Okay, oh, Desmaree's one is black, so okay, Desmaree has the one just like mine. Okay, but mine, I've actually borrowed mine to someone else, and that's why I've got the black one at the moment. Okay, so if you can, guys, can I ask you, if you're able to, can you ask mom or dad to find you this one? Because when we get to equations, it's going to be so much easier for you to do everything that we want to do on a calculator. Okay, it's going to be a little easier. The maths will move a little bit faster. I know that it's not accessible to everyone, but if you can, please ask mom or dad if they can. All right, if they can get you that one. Hello, my sweetie. How are we doing, Mandisa?
I'm good, and yourself? Can I please explain the method that I was taught quickly, because
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Go for it. Tell us.
Okay, so can I give you my own example, rather?
Yes, give me. Let me
So
write
this
it down here.
example would be 3x squared plus 8x plus 4. So step 1 would be to take the 3 and times it by the positive 4, right? And
Ooh,
then
so
you're on
3 and times positive 4, and we'd get 12.
12. And then you find factors of 12
Okay.
that will give you 12 when multiplied and 8 when added.
Aha, okay.
After that,
So
you
I'm trying to think. 3 and 4 would give me 7.
positive 2
6
and
and
positive.
2. Correct. Positive 2 and positive 6. All right, excellent. Okay.
Yes, then you place your equation down as 3x squared plus 2x plus 6x plus 4.
Okay, yes, this is a technique you can. And then we just group, yes?
You group the 3x squared plus 6x, you find the common factor, which would be x. You put x outside the
Beautiful.
brackets.
Well, in this case, it would be 3x. In this one, we would have 3x as a common factor, and then we can take that out in that x plus 2. And in
No,
this
ma'am,
other one, we would
it's
take out 2.
because
Is it
both of
not
them
3x?
no, it's x. And then you divide x by each of the
Okay.
numbers in that one that you put brackets in.
Okay, so if I take out x over here, I'm going to have 3x plus 6 left.
Yes, and then you find a common factor between 2 and 4.
Which would be 2, correct?
Wait, ma'am, I think I did. Yeah.
Okay, can I explain? I absolutely
No, ma'am,
100%
sorry. I'm so
understand.
sorry. Ma'am, you know where I went wrong? By the 6 and 2, please swap them around. That's where it's wrong. So it's supposed to
So
be
these
3x
two need to be
plus
swapped
2x.
around.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so plus 2x plus 6x.
Yes.
Okay, plus 2x plus 6x, all right?
And then we do the same thing with the 3x.
Okay, and then over here, we would take x out as a common factor, right?
Yes, and then
And
brackets.
3x plus 2, right?
And then you find the
over here,
find a common factor with 6 and 4, which should be 2, and then you divide. It should be 3x.
And that would give us 3x plus 2. Okay,
Yes.
and there's our common factor. All right, so we can then have 3x plus 2 and then x plus 2 in the other bracket. All right,
yes.
Lovely. And this is 100% a technique that you can use. It's called ACE. It's called the ACE method. So you are able to use it 100%. Can I just show you though, Mandisa? Let me show you something. Okay, if we had kept these two things the same, exactly the same, if you had left them the same, we were going to end up with the same answer, my sweetie. Let me show you how. Okay, if I take 3x out as a common factor over here, I'm going to have 3x out, and I will have x plus 2 left. And then over here, I'm going to take 2 out as a common factor, and I'm going to have x plus 2 left. Do you see how my x plus 2 bracket will just come first, but we're going to end up with the exact same thing? See that? We were going to end up with exactly the same thing. It's just that ours was in the opposite direction, but the math is on point. Okay,
Yes,
do you see that? Well done, my sweetie. That's very good. Okay, I might just steal this method from you and start teaching it in my own classes. Thank you. Well done. Okay, nicely done. All right, guys, let's get into today's lesson. All right, today's lesson, we're actually going to be looking at grouping. Okay, I want us to skip over this because we've just done another example. All right, we're going to be looking at grouping and cubes. So we're going to start with grouping. Okay, we're going to start with grouping. And whenever we have to group, what we are technically looking for when we are grouping is we're looking for 4 or more terms. Okay, so if we ever come across an instruction that says factorize, if it says factorize, and in that process, they've given us 4 or more terms. So if they've given us 4 or 5 or 6 terms, then we're definitely looking at grouping. Okay, so now if I look at this first example that I have over here, at example A, I can tell I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So I have to group. I'm going to group. Okay, now I cannot just decide to group however I want. Okay, whatever it is that I'm grouping needs to have something in common. Right, so if I decided to take AC and BD, do AC and BD have anything in common? Mandisa says no. Tseho also says no. Tanuluti says no. No, they don't. So there's no point in my grouping them in that way, right? Which two do you guys see that have something in common? Which 2 terms do we see that have something in common? Good. Tanuluti says AC and AD. Excellent. So AC and AD have something in common, and we can also see BD and BC. And Mandisa, you're not wrong in saying that AC and BC have something in common, but you'll see that no matter how we group it, we're going to end up with the same answer. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to rearrange it a little bit. I'm just going to move some things to the front, some things to the back. It's not going to change the order. Remember, guys, addition is closed, or commutativity is closed under addition. Okay, so it doesn't matter which direction or we write them in, they will still mean the same thing. So I'm going to write AC plus AD, and then I'm going to write plus BD plus BC. Now you can do it Mandisa's way, and you can first write AC and then plus BC. You can do that, and then you can write plus BD plus AD, because those two will have something in common as well. So you can choose whatever order you want to write them in. Okay, now I know that these 2 have a highest common factor, and these 2 have a highest common factor. What is the highest common factor in the first 2? Good. Ooh, Mandisa, you're on a roll. Well done. Yes, Tandelutu. Excellent. So we're going to take A out as a common factor. Now, if I take A out, I'm going to have C plus D left. Right. And in the second part over here, what is the highest common factor in that second part? Good, Amanda, that's it. Well done, it's B. Good, so I'm going to take B out. And if I take B out, I'm going to have D plus C, which doesn't actually change anything because, like I said, commutativity is closed under addition. And what that actually means is that if I write 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4, that's the same. I'm going to get the same answer if I write 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1, or if I write 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. The order in which we add things doesn't matter. we're going to get the exact same answer. I hope you guys are with me there. So it doesn't matter whether the C plus D comes first or if D plus C comes first. Give me a thumbs up if what ma'am has just said makes sense. Are you guys with me? Everyone good with that? Excellent, Morangi. Good, Amanda. Excellent. Okay, so the order in which things, not important, because 2 plus 3 is 5 and 3 plus 2 is 5. So the order doesn't matter. Okay, what actually does matter is what they have in common. Now we can look. If we look over here, this first part and this second part have our bracket in common. They have our bracket in common. So I'm going to take out the bracket out as a common factor. So I'm going to take C plus D out. And if I take C plus D out, I'm going to have A plus B left. A plus B. All right. Are we all good with this? Give me a yes in the chat. You can also give me a reaction, thumbs up, if we're okay with what ma'am has done here. Are we all good? Beautiful stuff. Excellent, guys. Well done. All right. Let's all try B. Let's all give B a try. Okay, Tandolwetu, remember, I can rewrite D plus C. I can just rewrite D plus C as C plus D. Did that change anything? If I take D plus C and I write it as C plus D, does that change anything? No, it doesn't change anything. So what I've done is I've taken out a common bracket. Okay, it doesn't. If I asked you, Tandolotu, if I said to you 2 plus 3, you tell me that the answer is 5. And also if I had 3 plus 2, my answer would still be 5. So it doesn't really matter whether I write C plus D or whether I write D plus C. The answer is going to be exactly the same. Am I making sense? Okay, so what I've done is I've taken out the common bracket C plus D, and I've written that first, and then what I had left was A plus B. Okay.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
For B, when a number or a number is cubed, none of the other squared are like terms with it, right? It's on its own.
Well, not necessarily. Remember, they just have to have something in common. Okay. In fact, you can do this. I know that your first instinct is to go out and take that A squared and put it with the 2A cubed. Yes?
Yeah.
Is that what we were thinking?
No, I was thinking with this the 6AP.
Yeah, okay. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. Okay. Keep it that way. All right. So just take out what's common between each of those two. And one of the answers will just have a squared in it. That's fine. It's okay. All right. Shall we have a look at B quickly? Okay. So if I look at these first two over here, 2A cubed plus 6AB, what common factor can I take out over there? What's my highest common factor between those first two? Good, Amanda, that's it. Good. We're going to take 2A out as a common factor. So I'm going to go 2A. And if I take 2A out as a common factor, I'm going to have A squared plus 3B left. All right. Plus, now let's look at the next two. Between these two, what is my common factor between those two? Between these last two? What do we see? Sure, Amanda, you're on fire. Well done. Good. We're going to take B out as a common factor, right? Now, if I take B out as a common factor, I'm going to get A squared plus 3B. All right. And then I can tell that my common bracket, what does this part and that part have in common? They have the common bracket a squared plus 3b. So I'm going to open brackets a squared plus 3b. And if I take that out as a common factor, what do I have left? 2a plus b. Give me a thumbs up if your answer looks like mine. Are we all okay? I hope I'm not leaving anyone behind. Are we all okay with how ma'am has answered this question? Excellent, Mandisa. Well done,
Ma'am,
Amanda. Yes, sir.
how come for like 2a in the brackets we say a squared? Like, is there a reason for that?
Okay, yes. Okay. So remember what we do. Let me write it over here, Mrangi. 2a cubed plus 6ab. Now, remember, if we take 2a out as a common factor, what we're actually doing is we're dividing this part by 2a, and we're dividing this part by 2a. Now, 2 divided by 2 will give me just a, agreed? It will give me 1. 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. A cubed divided by a, what will that give us?
A squared.
Correct, it will give us a squared. Plus, over here, 6 divided by 2 will give me 3, and then the a divided by a will cancel, so I will have b left. Okay, and that's how we get a squared plus 3b over here. Okay, am I making sense? Are we okay with that? Okay, I hope that made sense. Excellent, Morangi. Good stuff. Okay, so we're just taking each of them and dividing it by that number and getting what we need. We're going to do another example now. All right, let's all do C together. We're all going to try C. Ooh, Teacher Coco, what's going on? All right, we're all going to try C. Let's have a look at C. Oh, that is not what we're looking at today. Okay, that is cubes. We're going to do that in just a little bit. Let's all look at C. Okay, now, when we want to group C, guys, we want to make sure that we're grouping two things that have something in common. Now, I'm just going to show you here. Look at a cubed C and negative 12b squared d. Do these two things have anything in common? Do they have anything in common? Nope. No, they don't. The one has an A and a C, the other has a B and a D, nothing in common. So we can't group these two. Let's not group those two. Let's go look for others that have something in common, right? So maybe let's take a cubed C and the other one that has a C, minus 4abc. Okay, we're going to group those two, and then we're going to take negative 12b squared d, and we can group that with plus 3a squared bd. Okay, so let's rearrange this a little bit to get what we need. So I'm going to write a cubed c minus 4abc. And then I want to write this positive one first. I want to write the positive one first. So I'm going to go plus 3a squared bd minus 12b squared d. Okay, now we've shifted it around. Let's start over here. What do these two have in common? What do they have in common, guys? Good, Tandalweti, that's it, Mandisa, good. Those two in the front have C in common. So we're going to take C out as a common factor. All right, and then remember what we do, guys. We're going to divide this first part by C, and we're going to divide the second part by C. Oh, guys, you're lying. There's more than one common factor here. What else is common apart from just C? What else is also common between these two? Yes, Morangi, that's it. Good. A is also common. Correct. That's a Desmarie. So we can't just take out C. We need to take out AC, not just C, AC. Okay, so we're going to take AC out as a common factor. And then we're going to go ahead and divide this part by AC. And we're going to divide that part by AC. Okay, so over here, I know that a cubed divided by a, that will give us a squared. And then the c's will cancel. And remember, they don't actually cancel. It's just that they give us 1. So there's no need for us to actually write the 1 there because 1 times a squared is just a squared. Okay, over here, I'm going to have 4 anyway. So I'm just going to write minus. The a and the a will cancel. The c and the c will cancel. And I will have b left. So I've got a squared minus 4b. All right. That's for the first 2. Now let's go to these 2 over here. What is my common, I wanted to say common bracket, my highest common factor? Okay, start with the numbers. Remember, let's start with the numbers. What do they common number? Ooh, it's not 4, Mandisa. Be very careful. Guys, be very careful. Have a look. What number do they have in common? It's not 4. This number here is 3. Good, good, Mandisa. It's 3. So 3 goes into both 3 and into 12. So the number we want to take out is a positive 3. Right. Now let's look at the variables. What variables do these two do they have in common? Correct, Amandla, that's it. They have B and D in common. So we're going to take out 3BD. And then we're going to open brackets, right? And then we're going to go over here and divide this part by 3BD. And we're going to divide this part by 3BD. I know that 3 divided by 3 is going to give us 1. And then B and B will cancel. And D will cancel. Remember, they don't actually cancel. They just give us 1. They give us 1. We've got a squared left. So we're going to write a squared. And then over here, negative 12 divided by 3 will give us negative 4. So those 2 are done, negative 12 and 3. B squared divided by B will just leave us with B, and D divided by D will give us 1. So we're going to end up with 4B. All right. Now, do we see a common bracket? Do we see a common bracket, guys? Of course we do. It's a squared minus 4b. So we're going to take a squared minus 4ab out, or minus 4b. A squared minus 4b. Open brackets, and over here, if I take away a squared minus 4b, I'm going to have ac left, ac plus, and if I take a squared minus 4b away over here, I'm going to have 3bd left. All right. Beautiful. Well done, Thandubletu. Give me a thumbs up. Are we all good? Let me know how we're doing with these questions. Are we okay with these? Excellent. Well done, Amanda. That's it. Well done, Thandubletu. Okay. Beautiful stuff, guys. All right. I want us all to try D. Okay. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to try D. Remember, make sure you're grouping them according to what they have in common. All right. I'm sorry, D moved, and I don't understand why. Okay, there's D over there. So I want you guys to factorize D using grouping. All right, take it away, guys. Pop your favorite emoji in the chat when you're ready.
Ma'am.
Hi, my sweetie. What's up?
When there's a cube next to two like letters, right? Does it mean that both of them are cubed? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Do you mean squared?
Squared, sorry.
Or are you already doing E? You're already doing E. Okay. Yes, that means that both of them have squared. Okay. If they both squared, then we take the squared out. It belongs to both of them. Okay. We can take both of them out. I have a feeling you answered your own question, Mandisa, and you might not have needed me for that question. Excellent. All right. Okay, guys, let's get into this one quickly. All right. I want us to have a look at these first two over here. We can group these because they have something in common. And then we can group these two because they also have something in common. Now, if I look at the first two, what do the first two have in common? The first two terms, what do they have in common, guys? Let me know in the chat. Good, but it's not just C. It's not just C, that's it, Amandla. It's not just C, guys. In this case, that's it, Seho, good. It's C squared. They both have C squared in common. So that's what we're going to take out. I'm going to rewrite this over here. A squared C squared minus 2BC squared. All right, so we know that we have C squared in common. That's what we're going to take out. C squared. All right. Now, remember, if I take C squared out, I need to divide this part by C squared, and I need to divide this part by C squared. Now, what's going to happen here is C squared and C squared will cancel, so I will have A squared left. A squared minus, and over here, C squared and C squared will also cancel, and I will have 2B left. Okay, then we're going to go to the next part, plus 3A squared D minus 6BD. What is this next part? These two, what do these two over here have in common? The last two terms, what do they have in common? Good, that's it. Okay, Tandaletu, remember, we must always make sure that we're taking out the highest common factor. And Mandita, you are on point. They also share 3. They also have 3 as a highest common factor. So we can't just take out D. I agree, they have D in common, but 3, they also have 3 in common, right? So we're going to take out 3D. Okay, plus 3D. Okay, remember, not just the letters, guys, the numbers as well. Don't forget the numbers. So what we're then going to do is we're going to divide this part by 3D, and we're going to divide this part by 3D. Right, now I know that the 3 and the 3 will cancel because that will give us 1. And then I know that D and D will cancel. So I will have A squared left, A squared minus, now negative 6 divided by 3 will give us negative 2. That will give us negative 2. And D divided by D will also cancel, which will give us 1. So we've got B left. Okay. And sure enough, we can see we now have a common bracket. And we can take the common bracket out. We can take the common bracket out. So if I take out A squared minus 2B, if I take out minus 2B over here, I'm going to have C squared left. And if I take it out over here, I'm going to have plus 3D. So my other bracket will then be C squared plus 3D. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. How are we doing, gents? Ladies and gents, are we all good? Sorry, I tend to say gents because I work at an all-boys school, so it just comes naturally for me to say gentlemen instead of ladies and gentlemen. My apologies, but it does come quite easily to me, unfortunately. All right. Okay. Yay, well done, Sia. That's it. Good stuff. Amazing work, guys. Awesome. All right, let's talk about the sum and difference of cubes. Well done, Buikanyo. Excellent work. All right, let's talk about the sum and difference of cubes. Okay, this part that we're about to learn about here is cubes. Okay, now the only thing I can do here is I can teach you guys the way to do cubes, because the mathematics behind it involves Pascal's triangle, which is really complicated. We're not going to get into that right now. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. All right, so if I gave you guys x cubed minus 8, right? I know that both of these numbers are perfect cubes. Why can ma'am say that both of these numbers are perfect cubes? Who can tell me? Why are they both perfect cubes? Or just cubes, rather. I don't know about the perfect part. Why can I say, we know why x cubed is a perfect cube. Yes, Sia. But why can we say that 8 is a perfect cube?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, x. Okay. X is like x times x times x, and
Good.
it'll equal to x cubed. Then
Good.
the reason why we say 8 is a perfect cube because of 2. It's
Okay,
2
good.
times
What
2
do you
times
mean by
2.
Correct. Good. It's 2 times 2 times 2. Or another way I could write that, instead of saying 2 times 2 times 2, I can say
2 to the power of 3.
beautiful. 2 cubed. And that's why we call it a cube. Just beautiful stuff. Amazing. It means you know your numbers, dude. Well done. Amazing work.
Thanks,
Excellent.
ma'am.
Well done. All right. I hope we're all in agreement with what Sia said. He's made no mistakes. Facts, no printer. I heard that on TikTok the other day. Guys, don't judge me. I don't know anything about TikTok, but I heard somebody say facts, no printer. So I'm going to start using that from now on. Okay. I need to stop trying to be cool, guys. I'm old. Okay. So when we, I know, guys, I know. So when we factorize a difference of cubes, what we're going to do is we're going to actually cube root each of these numbers. Okay. So we're going to open a binomial. We're going to open a bracket for a trinomial. Okay. Bi means that there are 2 terms over here, binomial, 2 terms, and trinomial means there'll be 3 terms over here. And I'm going to explain how this will work. So what we'll do here, we are first going to cube root each of our answers. So we're going to take the cube root of x cubed, and we're going to take the cube root of 8. Okay, so the cube root of x cubed will be x, and then the cube root of -8 will give me -2. Well done, Amanda. That's it. Excellent. Now we're going to look at what happens in this bracket over here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take x and we're going to put it over here and we're going to square it. So we're going to get x squared. Okay. Now, at the end, all the way at the end over here, we're going to take -2 and we're going to square it. Now, if I square -2, what am I going to get? What am I going to get if I square -2? Beautiful, Mandisa. That's the correct answer. That's it, Amanda. I just wanted to make sure that nobody forgets that -2 all squared must give us +4. We must get +4. All right. So x squared and then -2 all squared will give us +4. Now, to get the middle term, because remember, this is a trinomial. This is a trinomial. What we're going to do is we're going to take x times -2, and that will give us -2x. Well done, Amanda. But when we put it in our bracket, we're going to give it the opposite sign. We're not going to give it a -2x. We're going to make it +2x. That's it, Mandisa. Good. +2x. All right. And the reason for this is because when I then multiply back out, let's do the basic simplification. X times x squared will give me x cubed. X times 2x will give me 2x squared. X times 4 will give me plus 4x. I'm done with the top part. So I'm going to go to the bottom now. Negative 2 times times x squared will give me negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times 2x will give me negative 4x. And then negative 2 times 4 will give me negative 8. Now I'm just going to add like terms. I'm just going to add like terms. I'm going to notice that 2x squared minus 2x squared will give us 0. And 4x minus 4x will give us 0. So what I have left is x cubed minus 8, which is exactly what I started off with at the beginning. I ended up with what I started with. All right. Thumbs up, everybody. Ma'am has done here. Yes, are you guys with me? Beautiful. Let's do another example. I want you guys to stick with me. Okay, here's another example. X cubed plus 27. Now, I want us to do it together. Okay, I can tell if the instruction says factorize, I know now that I'm first going to open a bracket for a binomial, and then I'm going to open a bracket for a trinomial. Okay, then we're going to take the cube root of the first number and the cube root of the second number. Now, the cube root of x cubed is just going to give us x, and the cube root of positive 27 will give us positive 3, right? Now, my next step is to take x and square it. Put it over here and square it. So that's going to give me x squared. And then I'm going to go all the way to the end. I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to square it and I'm going to put it all the way at the end. Now 3 squared is going to give me positive 9. Right. Now for my middle term, I'm then going to take x times 3. That's going to give me 3x. But when I put it into my bracket, I needed to have the opposite sign. So that's going to give me negative 3x. All right. I feel like we're going to get into the groove of this quite nicely. Shall we do another one? Are we all good to do another one? Yes? Beautiful. I like it. Okay, let's up the ante a little bit more. I want us to do this. 8x cubed minus 1. All right, let's factorize, ladies and gents. Okay, I'll give everybody 2 minutes. Show me what you got, guys.
Ma'am, can I try it?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. All right. Tell me what to do, Mandisa. Tell me what to write. What am I going to write?
Okay, so would you say you'd say
I have to open 2 brackets, right?
Yes, ma'am. So you'd say
Good.
you'd say 2x
Beautiful, because the cube root of 8x cubed will give me 2x. Beautiful. And then?
minus 1 because the cube root of 1 is 1.
Excellent. Good. More directly, Mandisa, the cube root of negative 1 is 1. Oh, is negative 1. Okay. So we need to remember that. Okay. All right. Good. So tell me what happens at the very beginning. What do we get over here?
You say 2x squared. Or you say 2x squared and x squared.
Oh, hold on. Remember, we must square the 2 and we must square the x. So
Yes, ma'am.
2 squared will give me
4.
4. Excellent. And then x all squared will give me?
X squared.
Excellent. Good. Now let's go to the very end. Let's do negative 1 squared will give us?
Positive 1.
1. That's it. Beautiful. Let's do the middle term. Okay.
In the middle
We're going to get
term,
times negative 1 will give us?
positive 2x, I think.
Good. In my bracket must go positive 2x instead of negative 2x. Ah, you are a whole legend. I feel like we can just give you a grade 10 certificate and keep it moving because wow, well done. That was just sublime. Well done, Mandisa. Excellent stuff. Sure. Guys, and she's just like, bam, 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 out the water, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, we got this, guys. All right, give me a thumbs up. Is everybody okay with how we've done this question? Everybody good here? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Well done, guys. Okay, here's your next challenge. I want you guys to factorize A, B, and I know I skipped C, but do A, B, D, and E for me, please. Okay, I'm gonna pop my favorite emoji in the chat. You guys know, because every day at Maths is lit. Molebogeng, that's okay, my sweetie. Do you want to, can I ask you to unmute? Do you want to do this next one with me? We can do it together. Yes? Okay, I don't want to leave you behind, my sweetie. If you're feeling shy, that's okay. Would you rather, do you want to type your answers in the chat for me? Is that okay? Is that better? Okay, just let me know because I don't want to leave you behind. Okay, I want us to do this question together so we can get it. Okay, if you're struggling to find where to unmute, you can always just swipe left or right on your phone, and then a huge button that says speak should come up. Okay, so if you swipe left or swipe right, there'll be a big button that says speak, and then you can unmute for me. Okay, if not, then you can just type in the chat for me. Ma'am, let's just do it. I'll type in the chat. I'm okay with either of those options. Okay. That's okay, Morangi. We're going to do it together. Okay, do you maybe want to unmute? Because I feel like Bukanyo's having a bit of a technical problem. Do you want to unmute? All right. Excellent. Sia, is that a question or do you want to answer the question? I think, let me do the first one with Morangi, Sia, and then you and I can do the next one together. Okay, hi, Morangi.
Hello, ma'am.
All right, okay. Let's take it slowly. Okay, we know that it's a cube. How do we know that it's a cube, Morangi? How do we know what factorizing is?
Ma'am, because it has a 3, ma'am. The exponent is a 3.
Correct. Both of them have cubed as the exponent. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open 2 brackets. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
One for a binomial and one for a trinomial. Right? And then we're going to take the cube root of this one, and we're going to take the cube root of that one. Right? So the cube root of x cubed, what will that give me?
Ma'am, won't it just be x?
It is. It's just x. It's just x. The reason why it's just x is because the cube and the cube root will cancel out, and I'll just have x left. Okay, so this part will just be x. And then what about y cubed? What is the cube root of y cubed?
Ma'am, it's y.
Correct. So we're just going to go plus y. Okay. Are you still with me?
Yes, ma'am, I'm still here.
Excellent. Okay. Then we're going to take this first letter and we're going to put it over here. What do we do when we put it over here? We're going to square it. So what is x squared? What's that going to give us?
It's going to be x squared.
Good, x squared. Right. Then we're going to go to the very end. We're going to take y, take it all the way to the end, and it's going to give us
Y squared.
beautiful, y squared. Now remember to find that middle term. we're going to have to take these two. We're going to go x times y. What is x times y?
It's xy.
Good, but it's positive xy. So when I put it in here, I need to put it in as?
Positive xy
It's
plus
positive
xy.
over here. So when it goes in here, we must put it as? Okay, we must always put it in there with the opposite sign. Okay, so over here, we're
Oh,
going to
yes,
put it
ma'am.
in negative xy.
Yes.
Okay, do you see what we did there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you want to try B with me? I don't want to lose you. Okay, let's try this one, this next one over here. Okay, remember, we know that they're both cubed, so we're gonna open a binomial bracket and a trinomial bracket. Can you tell me what goes over here? Take the
Ma'am, what
cube
goes
root.
where?
Yeah, in the first part of my bracket. What goes here?
Ma'am, it's gonna be x.
Good, and then over here,
It's gonna be y.
positive y or negative y?
It's gonna be negative y.
Good, negative y. Excellent. Now, let's square. I know that x when it goes over here, what's that going to give us?
It's gonna be x squared.
Good, x squared. And then we're going to go all the way to the end. Now, remember, this is negative y all squared. What's that going to give us?
Negative y squared.
Be careful. Remember, negative y all squared is the same as negative y times negative y. That negative times negative will give us a?
A positive.
Good. So we must have positive y squared. All right. Are you still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent. Now I've got x times negative y. What is x times negative y going to give me?
It's gonna be negative xy.
Excellent. Good. It's negative xy. But when I put it in here, what must happen to the sign?
We must make it the opposite. So now it's gonna be positive xy.
Beautiful. And look at you, dude. You've just factorized 2 cubes in a row and you did them 100%. Well done, dude. Just wow. Excellent
Yes, ma'am.
work.
I think I get
Okay,
it
are
now.
you with me now? Okay, it's
Yes,
just
ma'am.
about remembering. Yeah, okay, because teaching you the intricacies behind it is going to be difficult. So for now, we're just teaching you guys how to do the formula. Sia, do you want to do D with me? Hi, Sia. I see your hand is up.
Yes, ma'am. Can I do B with you?
Absolutely.
D.
Let's go ahead and do it. All right. So I'm going
Okay.
to open a binomial
Yes.
bracket and a trinomial. All right. Tell me what do we put over here?
Okay, ma'am, in the first bracket, we're gonna put 4b squared plus 5.
Good. Beautiful. 4b squared plus 5. Because we took the cube from that.
Yes.
We took that. Well done. Yes, Tandoleti, you
And
can. All right. So let's square. When this goes over here, what happens to it? What does it become?
ma'am, it's gonna be 16b to the power of 4.
Beautiful. Excellent. And then all the way at the end, what would we get?
We're gonna have plus 25.
Plus 25. Beautiful. And then what happens in the middle? Let's talk about what
Then in
happens in
the
the middle. I'm going to get 4b squared plus or times positive 5.
it's gonna be 20b squared negative.
Good. And when I put it over here,
It's gonna be negative, ma'am.
beautifully done. Like, seriously, you did that in less than a minute. Oh my goodness, dude. Wow. Well done. Well done, Sia. Excellent stuff. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Dude, you're killing it. Woo. On fire today. On fire. All right. Now, Tanoleti says, are we still going to use the same method in E? Yes, we are. But I'm going to remind everyone that every single time we are factorizing, what is the first thing we must always, always do? And I can tell you that's why many of you guys couldn't get the answer for me. What is the first thing we must always do? Who remembers? What is our default setting, grade 10s? Yes, Sia, we must first find the highest common factor. And for those of you who are like, yo, ma'am, it's hard, ma'am, what's happening? You forgot to take out your HCF. You forgot to take out your HCF. Who can tell me what is my highest common factor? Good, 2, and what else, Mandisa? It's not just 2. What else? Correct. So it's 2AB. We first have to take out 2AB. Let's take it out. Now, if I take 2AB out, I'm going to divide over here by 2AB, and I'm going to divide over here by 2AB. Look what happens after I do that. The 2's will cancel, the b's will cancel. B to the power 4 divided by b will give us b cubed, minus 16 divided by 2 will give us 8. A to the power 4 divided by a will give me a cubed, and the 2 b's will cancel b. Can I then factorize that? Is that easy enough to factorize?
Wait, can you, for
Yes.
the AB to the power of 4, you said that if a power is next to 2 letters, it means that A, B are times 4, A and B are times 4 times. Why is it now just B cubed instead of AB cubed?
No, my sweet. Okay, so the A on its own has an exponent of 1. Okay, B is the only thing with the exponent of 4. So if they both had to have an exponent of 4, we would have had to have AB all to the power 4. Then both of them have to the power 4. In this instance, only B has a power of 4. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, my sweetie. Good question. Okay, now we can factorize, and I've got 1 minute, so I'm going to do this very quickly. 2AB, I'm going to open a binomial and a trinomial bracket, right? And then I'm going to cube root this part, cube root that part. I'm going to end up with B minus 2A over here. And then I'm going to take B and I'm going to square it, put it over here. That's going to give me B squared. And I'm going to take negative 2A and I'm going to take it over there. Now, negative 2 all squared is going to give me positive 4 and then A all squared. There we go. And then I'm going to put these two together, the last two. I'm going to have B times negative 2A would give me negative 2AB. And when I put it in my bracket over here, I'm going to put it as plus 2AB. All right. Are we all good, grade 10s? That is my time. It is officially 6 o'clock. How are we doing, guys? Are we all good? Excellent. Well done. Beautiful stuff. Well done, Desmarie. Good, Seho. All right, guys. That's our time for today. Okay. I'm going to see you guys again on Wednesday. But when we meet on Wednesday, we're going to jump straight into algebraic fractions. Okay. Which means all the techniques for factorizing we've learned. We're going to take all of them and we're going to put them together into algebraic fractions, because algebraic fractions are just about factorization. Okay, so if I can give you any advice this evening, tomorrow, I want you to go practice factorizing. Factorize. Because when we come back on Wednesday, I'm not going to take it a step at a time. I'm going to give you guys a sum. You're going to look at it and I'm going to say, how do we factorize this? And then you need to know how to factorize. Okay, you must tell me which technique we are using. All right, thank you very much, grade 10s. I will see you guys again on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. All right.